Hey, good morning, everyone. Paul McMann here with Forex Smart Trade. So glad you could be with us this morning. Forex Smart Trade, our mission is to help you become the best version of yourself. We do that by if you get your speaker on, please mute it as that distracts me a little bit. At Forex Smart Trade, our mission is to make you the best version of yourself. We do that by helping you become financially independent by teaching you how to currency trade with our super accurate proprietary indicators and our best in the business one-on-one training. So with that, let's get started. We start the day by first listening to the disclosure.
Due to federal and state regulations, we are providing the following disclosure. Please stay tuned, as this will take less than a minute. Foreign exchange, futures, and cryptocurrency trading are highly risky, and you can lose all the money you invest should you decide to engage in live trading. We are not responsible for your investment, trading, or tax decisions. We are not licensed financial advisors, traders, accountants, stockbrokers, or attorneys. We are not licensed commodities brokers and do not engage in or facilitate commodities transactions. We are not an introducing broker, and we make no recommendation as to where you should invest or what broker you should trade with. As you apply what you learn, we recommend you seek advice from licensed professionals. Any trade results that we show should not be considered typical of our students. We do not and cannot track the results or performance of our students' private trading accounts. We do not know what a typical or average student earns or loses trading. This is not a get-rich-quick program, guaranteed system, or business opportunity. We sell training and trading tools. We make no promises our training or tools will generate future income for students, and you may not make your investment back, including your investment in this training. Any redistribution or recording of this material is strictly prohibited without advance written permission.
Okay. With that, on this session, there are two trades that I focus on. The first is something called the 10-point trade, where basically we're trying to line up the various lines off of the various charts. And when they do line up, it's a signal for a good trade. The other is something called the thick orange line trade that's appropriate at this time in the morning on most of the pairs that we'll be looking at, where we can get a quick scalp right before the top of the hour. So with that, let us get going. Just a reminder, we do a series of live trades. The yellow is for light members. The green is for regular members, the green and purple. So there are lots of opportunities to watch other good traders do their thing. And as a new trader, I would recommend copying their trade until you're consistently doing at least 10 pips a day. For the lights, well, actually for everyone, I will be adding another session starting next week. We will do 2 morning trades, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, both at the same time. And we are thinking about, or I'm thinking about putting one in maybe on Wednesday night or Monday night. That's still kind of being considered, maybe around 6:30 p.m. Where we'll trade Australian and Japanese pairs. So that's kind of in the thought process. As you know, I trade off of a checklist. Just it helps me kind of make sure I'm not missing anything. So first thing I do is I check to make sure our charts are live and current, and I do that by looking that I've got it's green up here and green down here. As some of you may have heard, there are green charts, and some of you are using. There's green charts too. I haven't made the switch over to it yet, but it is on my list of things to do within the next couple of weeks. Green Charts 2 is a web-based version of the charts, so it'll take a little time for me to get the charts the way I like them set up on the new green chart. So they will be maintaining this chart, the program-based version of the green charts until I think July 1st. July 1st, if you want to continue using using this version, they're going to charge a little bit of an extra fee. So in the next couple weeks, I will make that change over to the web-based version. It's kind of it's an issue having an old dog learn new tricks, but we'll get there. So this is current. If this were red, that means the chart, I'm connected to the internet, I'm green here, but I'm red here, that means I'm back testing. Back testing is when we would go back and we've developed a trade signal that we like to use, or we go back and test it to try to make sure we have all the nuances of it. So back testing is a good thing. And then we also want to take a look at our CoinEx or turnkey is current, and I can see that because the price is moving over here. This is a demo account that I'll be trading off of today. Always good practice at the end of every day to take a look at the trades that didn't go the way you thought they would. As a new trader, I would take a screenshot. I think that's the easiest way to go back and take a look at right when you take the trade. Take a screenshot of the screen, and we'll take it from there. So on a review of last week. Let's see here. We took 3 trades. Let's see here. This one closed right when we got off. It was a thick orange line trade on the Swiss franc yen. We also took a trade on the another. Let's see, thick orange line trade on the USD Swiss franc, and we took a 10-point trade on the USD Canadian. If you remember that, I think we took a 7-pip trade on that. It got to like 6.5 pips. And we missed it. On my regular account, I ended up price averaging and hedging against that. So we basically broke even. Price averaging and hedging is something that you will learn in your real trading. We don't show it on the lights, but it's a way of managing the trade. In fact, if you took my trade last night, I hedged, I price averaged and hedged out of that because it went entirely the wrong direction. So I am a user. I do put the stop loss on, but I also put protection in with a price average and hedge. So I am out of that trade from last night and made $500. But these are all tools that you need to have in your toolbox to help you protect the downside. It's all about protecting the downside, minimizing risk. So without price averaging and hedging, you know, I wouldn't be as very good of a trader as I am. So we are live. What else we've got? Let's see if there's some announcements. We are technical traders, so we want to make sure that there's no news that might impact us in our trading. So We do that by going to forexfactory.com. Forex Factory gives a news feed, or gives a feed of related news items that might affect currency, and it breaks it down into yellow, which is low impact, orange, which is medium impact, and red, which is high impact. The next news item coming is at the 8:30. It's some news on building permits in Canada. If I look down the list, I've got pretty much all yellow. I don't pay attention to the yellows. There's an orange on New Zealand at 5, and then some reds on New Zealand at 6:45. So none of this will impact any of the trades that we're doing this morning, because any of the trades we're doing this morning, I intend to be fully out of them before 6:45. Usually, as we trade off of an hour chart, I would expect the trade to close anywhere from 1 to 3 hours into it once we took the trade. So we get clear sailing here. So now we will do our technical analysis. So going back to the full chart, what I've got up here is a composite chart which I use to make my initial read as to whether we've got a signal or not. On the composite chart, there are 6 different currency pairs on a 1-hour chart. I start by looking at the middle chart, which is the majors and minors. The red and green lines are the majors, black and gray are the minors. I am looking for situations where we are oversold, which means we're under the red line, or overbought, which means we're above the blue line. Right now on the Australian dollar, we are oversold, but the lines are kind of going sideways. I want it where the lines are clearly going up. So I don't have anything here, so I'm going to go to the next pair. Euro dollar, we're oversold. Lines are pointing up, and I've got a double cross where the green is crossed over red, and the gray is crossed over the black. I like this because if you look right here, last hour, the slope on the green line is increased. There's less of a slope here. There's more of a slope here. So that's a good sign. So I've got what I'll call 3 points. 1, we're oversold. 2, the lines are all pointing up. And 3, I've got a double cross on both the majors and minors. So I like this. So now I'm going to go up to my TNTs, and I'm going to count how many lines are going in the same direction, or that's consistent with the buy signal I'm seeing here. 2 orange lines, the thick orange line and thin orange line, are going up. The blue lines are inversely related, and the dotted blue is coming down. So when dotted blue is coming down, that means up. Thick blue is going up, which means down. So I've got 3 of the 4 here telling me up, and I would expect the blue to be going. I don't expect it to go to the opposite direction, but the thick blue is usually the last to turn. So I'm good here. So I got 3 out of 4. I need to have a minimum of 3 out of 4. So I got 3 out of 4 here. I am going to go down to my pressure. My pressure is down pressure with green on top, and the lines are diverging. That means they're separating. The green is moving away from the red. So with green on top, that's 1 point. So I've got 3 points here on the majors and minors, 3 points here on the TNTs, and 1 point here. Plus I got the added benefit of the lines diverging. So I like all of this. So my goal here is to be able to ride this as it rides up through the channel. So to do that, I want to take a look at my full chart. And on the full chart, if we look at I want to know where the support and resistance are, what the trend is. So let's take a look at that. So right now, I trade the euro dollar, it's primarily I trade it 90% of the time. So I've got my support and resistance lines already on here. So I want to know, well, first let's, we are trading into, what's the trend here? We're trading into a downtrend over the last 3 days. You know, we had 3 days, 5 days up, 3 days down. So I'm trading into a downtrend, and I want to know how much room I have between the support and resistance. So I've got 18 pips up, and I got 17 pips down. So 18 up, 17 down. So on a buy trade, I'm not going to take more than 18 pips. But since we are trading into a downtrend, I'm going to probably take less than that because I don't want to trade against the trend. So I've got 18 up. So here's the original signal. Now on my euro dollar chart, I'll have a 2.5 minute chart, a 30-minute chart, a 60, a 120, a 240, and a day chart. I want to look and see what's consistent with what I'm seeing here. So if I look on the 2-hour chart, I'm oversold. Everybody's pointing up. On the pressure's down, but the lines are converging. So the green is getting closer to the red. So in a couple hours, I'm going to expect this to cross over, the green to cross over the red. So I like this. I prefer that the green be on top. It's not, but it's getting there. Then on the 4-hour chart, I'm oversold again. So oversold, that's the beginning of a buy signal. My minors have crossed and are pointing up. My majors aren't quite there yet. I have down pressure, and it's gapping the other way. The lines are getting further apart. Not ideal, but I'm happy with that we're oversold here, and the lines are starting to point up. On the day chart, we're oversold and going down, and the pressure's going down. 30-minute chart, pressure is sideways, which generally suggests retracement. So if I were getting retracements, looking back to the kind of the last opposite candle, we should be able to recover this. If we're recovering that, that is 7 pips there. 7 pips, and hold on here. I don't like to have the time on there. And the 2.5, I'm not going to really use it for this trade. So let's take a look at like one of the other tools I use on the Euro USD is I do look at the Echo. The Echo gives me a quick summary for the 60 out through the day. I've got red, which is telling me sell, but on the short term, I have on the 5, the 15, and the 30. I've got buy. Ideally, I'd like to see more of this red. So even though we're getting a buy signal here, I want to know how much room we've got to. So if we go here, this is in my way. Hold on. So let's go the other way. So 3.5 to the top of that previous candle, 2.5. if we go to the top of the wick, it's 10. So you could see I'm thinking about it. The thing I don't like is what you'll sometimes see is when you have a big down move, there's kind of a head fake or a fake, like it'll look like it's coming back, and then it'll keep going down. So I like to wait and not jump in. But we've got two candles that are going up, and this is a nice signal here. So let's go ahead and take this for 7 pips, 7 pip buy. So my lot size is going to be, I'm going to move my decimal spot over 4 spots. So I've got an $8,900 balance. So I'm going to go to 0.89. And it's going to be a market execution buy. And then it records the trade down below. Now I'm going to right click on it, go to modify, and I am going to make it 7 pips up. And I usually go, I use a 5-to-1 on the euro dollar, so that's going to be 350 for the stop loss. What we're going to do is we're going to double check. We're going to double check the, I like to go 2 support and resistances away. So if I were to go 2 support and resistances away, I would be somewhere down here. Here's one support. Here's a second support. So at 1966.7, 1966.7. 19. So it's saying a little bit. It's saying a little bit more. 1966.7. And let's see what else we've got for another trade. So yeah, everything is still good here. So we're gonna we should be able to get 7 pips out of that. So let's see what else we have. So that's a 10-point trade. The other trade I like to do is the thick orange line trade, which focuses on what the thick orange line is doing at the top of the hour. And we're looking for a situation where this number is either 0 or minus 100. This thick orange line number is scaled. So when it's at 0, it's at as high as it can go. So that is telling us that the up movement, it believes the up movement is maxed out. So when the up movement's maxed out, that is time for a sell. Likewise, when it's at minus 100, like we see over here on the USD JPY, that is telling us that the down movement has maxed out and it is time for a buy. But we don't want to rely just on one signal for us to take the trade. We want confirmation. So I want, if this is at 0, I want all of these lines on the majors and minors to be well overbought. Likewise, if this is at minus 100, like it is here on the USD JPY, I want all the lines to be well oversold. And you can see that the lines here are overbought. So this isn't a good trade. In fact, you see it just changed 20 while we were looking at it. So let's see what else we've got. So minus 45 isn't good. Euro dollar 0. So that's telling us that it's maxed out on the up move. But when I look down here, the lines are oversold. So I don't have both parts of the signal. So I'm not going to take a sell now. Minus 40 isn't at 0 or minus 100. Minus 74 on the US Canadian isn't close enough. Minus 61 on the dollar Swiss franc isn't close enough. And as we said, this one minus 100, it's bouncing around a little bit, but we're overbought. I need to have the lines way down here. So let's keep looking. The euro pound is almost a very good 10-point trade. Oversold, people going up. Ideally, I'd like to see these lines a little steeper. I've got 4 out of 4 up here. My pressure isn't there yet. This is one to watch when this crosses over. If this crosses over in the next hour, this might be a good trade. Minus 3, but my lines are down here. I want these lines to be up here for the thick orange line trade. Minus 62, no. Minus 17, no. Minus 26, no. 26, 29. So none of those are good. Minus 60, no. 69, no. 55, no. 71, no. 33, 69. So I just did a quick, in 2 minutes, I was able to look through 18 charts right at the top of the hour. There's 2 minutes left here. TR is time remaining. So there's 2 minutes and 49 seconds remaining for a quick 5-point trade. I had nothing on all 3 of these. Let's see if we've got another thick orange line trade or a 10-point trade real quick. Yes. On the majors here on the Australian yen. Yes, I got 3 out of 4 here. Down pressure with red on top, so I got a no here. I need to get a point from all 3 sections. Euro Canadian. I don't like to take the trade if it's more than halfway, and we're kind of more than halfway here. I believe I'm not going to get enough of a run. Had we been able to catch it down here when it crossed, that's 10 pips there. I don't know how many more pips are left in the move. I want to take trades that have the highest percentage of closing. Australian, New Zealand were overbought, but the lines aren't really pointing down. New Zealand, USD. Everybody's going up. I don't like that the miners are kind of slanted sideways versus up. I've got 2 ups and a down, so I've got 3 here, and I've got the down pressure with green on top. This was very similar to the trade that we just took. So because it's New Zealand USD, we've already got the USD. So if the USD moves as it's supposed to, we'll get that. So I'd rather have another pair involved. We've got conflicting here on the Euro Australian. Miners are up. Majors are sideways. So let's see the next pair. I got 3 points here on Australian Canadian. I have 3 points here. I have a point here. Down pressure, green on top. So I'm not crazy about the miners. They're a little bit sideways. But let's take a look at the full chart. So that's AUD, CAD, AUD, CAD. Oh, here, let's just open this up, and I'm going to change it to AUD, CAD. AUD, CAD. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to know where my support and resistance are. So I'm going to scrunch this up and start drawing my support and resistance on there. Touches here, seems to bounce right in here. Stopped here, and that's about it's about 40 pips away, which is okay on an hour chart. Stops here, stops here, stops here, stops here. So that's a good spot. Let's get one more above it. Stops in here, stops in here, stops in here. What's the trend? Last 2 weeks, we're trading into a downtrend. And what do we got from 25 pips up, 10 pips down. What were we looking at here? We were looking at a buy. Now we got all four actually telling us. Here we had 3 telling us. Now we got 4 telling us. Pressure, green's on top, the lines are diverging. The only thing I don't like here is the slope changed. The slope changed on the green line. So we've got a steep slope and then a less steep slope. On a less steep slope, I don't like that. On the 2 hour, pressure's going sideways. On the 4 hour, majors and minors are going sideways. On the 4 hour, we're still going down. With sideways pressure suggests we're going to get retracement. If we were to get retracement, you know, there's 10 pips here. The majors, on the 1 day chart, we are oversold, but we've got the kink in the line. 30-minute sideways pressure. We're approaching oversold, which is overbought. On the 2.5 minute, we're coming down. If we were to get retracement, that's maybe 4 pips, 3.5 pips. I don't like this enough to take it. I don't like it enough to take it. So even though I've got all 10 points or 8 points here, I don't like the kink in the line. I don't like the kink in the line. I'm going to hold off because we have that kink in the line. I want it. I don't need to take the trade. Sometimes as a new trader, you're anxious to take trades. You only need a few good trades a day, and I want to wait and pick my spots till I get them. And I don't like this one enough. So we did take one. We did take one trade. Let's go back and take a look at it. So I'm expecting this. Give it a couple hours. We should be okay. All right, gang. Let's see if there's any questions. USD CHF for 10 point. USD CHF for 10 point. So somebody's got a recommendation. Let's take a look. USD CHF. Yeah, this would have been a possibility. This would have been a possibility. Sorry, I missed that. Usually, when we have one out of this group, since this is kind of all USD pairs, I don't like to double up because that puts too much USD into my portfolio. I'd rather try to find something else because the USD is kind of driving what's happening with the pair. But that you know, this was the setup was there. Anything else? Okay, gang. Thanks so much. Glad you could be here. And starting next week, we'll start doing it 2 days a week. And then I'm also looking at adding one more evening session to supplement that. All right. Thanks so much. See you next week.